900 AM and 96.1 FM, WURD, Philadelphia. Celebrating 20 years of progressive Black talk media. Streaming online at wordradio.com and the Word Radio app. The views and opinions expressed by the guests, listeners, and hosts of any program on Word Radio do not necessarily reflect those of the ownership, management, or advertisers of this station.
I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
All right, people, write something on the board. Let's spell it. First letter.
L O G.
What's that? What?
It's time. It's time to have real, honest, open, difficult, and inspiring conversations. It's time for Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family. Hello and welcome. Welcome to Love and Life right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at Word Radio. I am your host, Carol Riddick, and I am joined by the one and only Miss Kayla J. Happy Thursday to you, family. And once again, thank you for joining us. Or as always, I should say, thank you for joining us. So, family, I hope you're having a great start to your week as we're coming to the close of our week. I think Miss Kayla J, do you say this is what do you say? This is Friday Eve. What is it? I can't think of
Friday Junior.
Friday Junior. Happy Friday Junior to you in the words of Miss Kayla J. I hope that you had a great Friday Junior. Family, you know what I like to do. As we get started, I like to do what I call a check-in or roll call, if you will. So, how this works, in case you're unaware, is that you can call me to say hello. And you can do that by dialing 215-634-8065, or you can call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. Miss Kayla J and I, we love all the love that you share. So you can call us and do that. Or if you're on our socials, you can send us a hello there too. You can just send us a little shout out and say, hey there, ladies, if you will, or whatever, however you choose to say it. Again, we love all the love that you share. To those of our family members who are simply listening, I'm going to tell you this. I tell you this every day because I want you to know it. We know you're out there. Your presence and your love are always felt and are always greatly appreciated. And lastly, but certainly not least, our family members whose light is shining just a little dimly today. I'm sending you all the extra love and hugs that you can handle. All of it. You hear me? So, since we share here on Love and Life, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share with you. My heart is it's just a little heavy today. If you were listening to last night's show, Avery Sunshine and her husband Dana mentioned that a beloved member of our music industry family passed away a few days ago. You know how some things just hit you. First of all, let me just share that I didn't want to receive it. I didn't want to own it as the truth. But the longer that the information sits with me, just you know how that goes. You feel it. But Daniel Jones was a Dallas-based producer and keyboardist, He has an extensive resume in the music industry, inclusive of playing with Jay-Z, Justin Timberlake, and most recently being Janet Jackson's music director. So I'll share with you that I met him when we worked together doing VH1 Divas some years ago. But today, I really feel the weight of his loss from a lot of people. He was so loved, family. He was so loved. So many people posted today of his loss on their socials, and so some of them posted multiple times. You know, that speaks volumes to the effect that he had on so many of us. He was a genuinely good human being, father and husband. So I am sending extra love and hugs to his wife, to his children, his family, his friends, and everyone, every single soul and spirit who was touched by his reach. The angelic choir gained another superb addition. I will say that they definitely did. So I shared that, but I also have something else to share with you. You know how we've been talking about wellness. We've been talking about walking and all of that good stuff. Well, how about this, family? I got out and walked today. I walked today. Heavens to Murgatroyd. Yes, I did. And it felt so good to do so. It felt so good. I actually had the greatest gift, though. I just have to share this with you. Um, I saw a family. Well, at first I thought it was just one deer, but I saw a family of deer, and it was a mother and her two babies. Let me tell you something. She let me walk behind them and take a photo and videos. I'm going to share just this one photo with you. This 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 photo here is a photo I took this morning of this mother and her two babies. So she let me walk behind them and take photos, like I said, and videos. I wasn't able to load the video, but I can share the picture with you as you see. But I just had to share that because I felt like God was saying, see, girl, get on out here. But it was just an amazing, amazing, beautiful morning. Isn't God amazing? Isn't he? So what I want to do is recognize some of our family members who are checking in at this time. Brother Nasir is checking in with us on our socials. He shares good evening, Sister Carol and Kayla J, and guests. Peace and blessings. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you so much, Brother Nasir. You as well. Nico. Hey, Nico. Nico shares, hey, sisters Carol and Kayla J. Happy Thursday, tribe. Of course, the Z is for the good doctor. That's right. You know, on Thursdays, we talk to Dr. Z. In our 8 o'clock hour, Dr. Z is coming up. Nico writes, I love her vibe and wise counsel. So do I. Peace and love. Hassan shares, hey, ladies. Thank you so much, Hassan. I'm Cheryl. Hi there, Miss Cheryl. We're going to get our walk on, aren't we? Miss Cheryl Mobley Stimson shares hello from South Philly. And Nico, oh my goodness, thank you so much for that. Nico is sharing more love. So tragic about the loss of Daniel Jones, sending hugs and prayers. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're going to keep all that love. Keep all that love. Moving along, for those of you who are celebrating a birthday, because I tell you, I believe we should all be celebrated and spoiled absolutely rotten. I truly do. Yes, I do. But for those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. I truly do hope that you receive all the love and recognition that you truly do deserve. Well, you are here because this is your tribe and we're going to show you some love. So family, okay, you know how I get. And because the hour is so short, I want to get into this conversation that we are about to have with our first guest. Our first guest is no stranger to the show. She is the founder of Gushy Candy, an LLC she created in 2021 with the objective to promote quality adult play and inclusivity. She's also the mastermind behind Touchy Feely, an intimacy card game, the first game, I should say, designed for and all adult relationship styles and ages. How about that? She's here today to talk with us about the role that social media plays in intimate relationships. Family, I invite you to the conversation with Candace Johnson. Hello
I
there, beautiful.
I am so privileged to be here. Thank you so much.
You know we love having you come visit. You know we do. You know we do.
Every day. I'll be here every day.
So you're doing well.
I am doing well. I really appreciated your intro because while I did not know Daniel, you know, I think living in the city of Philadelphia, a lot of us have heavy hearts when it comes to passings. I have a number of significant passings that have happened recently. And so I can really appreciate both the importance of acknowledging and celebrating one's life, and then also the importance of making sure that the living still giggles, so that we can make it just a little bit more sunny on what is, a bit of a cloudy day,
Just a little bit. Just a little
Yeah.
bit. We're
Yeah.
doing our part, right? We're doing our
Yeah. I love that giggle that happens when you know you shouldn't be laughing because you're in grief, but you're so thankful for the break,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's
Yeah.
the thing. What we had a conversation last night. We were talking about just being grateful, just gratitude, 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 and
Always.
trying to, and in trying to live this life, recognizing all the blessings that we do have.
Yeah.
Just taking it all in, just taking it
Yeah.
all in.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But all right, so we're here to talk about some things, Miss
Yes.
Candace.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
So first, can you tell our family members a little about Gushy Candy?
Absolutely. And thank you so much for having me on again. I know I'm going to enjoy this conversation, and I'm really hoping that the audience does as well. So, Gushy Candy was created in 2021, and really it was a mission to try again my efforts to get us all in a place of intimacy and pleasure, wellness. And when I say all of us, I quite literally mean all of us. Because the reality is that one cannot be well if our community is not well, right? It doesn't matter how much therapy, and I know this to be true because I am a well person. It doesn't matter how much therapy I have. If my neighbor is unwell, right? And is honking early in the morning, or God forbid, carrying a weapon with a bad attitude, that makes us all unwell. And so the company was really created as a way to pull back from those public conversations that we have, political conversations, those sort of more hard to connect to topics, and bring it back to love. What's easier to talk about than love? No problem, right? And so the game is really encompassing of 4 different levels. You play the game like Uno. Touchy Feely is what it's called, our first product. And the goal is to really understand that all love is love, and anything that is love is of God. And so you can play the game with your mother. You can play with your father. I had a woman play with her son because she wanted to understand what her 9-year-old son understood of love based on what he was seeing being an only child, and living in a nuclear family. He has both his parents in the household. And, obviously lovers play. And we had a couple play on their 30th wedding anniversary. And, to be able to get the seal of approval from a marriage of that type of longevity really boosted my self-confidence. But it's a really beautiful game. And funny enough, one of the questions, there's 80 questions in the game, 50% talk, 50% touch. But one of the questions in the game, a level 4 question, pertains exactly to tonight's topic.
And what would that question be?
The question is, and I did pull it out of the box because I wanted to show, I know it's a little hard to see, but the question is, could you delete all personal social media accounts for the survival of a significant relationship? And it's a really great question. And I always encourage people, 1, personal accounts, because everyone always say, oh, it's my business account. I need it. It's my money. Okay, great. You do need that. That's fine. No one wants to mess with your money. But personal accounts, right? And not just for your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your husband or your wife who you feel is trying to control you, but any significant relationship. There's also an oversharing of parents with their
Mm,
children, right? So
mhm,
it's a question that really tugs at the strings of people's hearts, because social media has become the album of people's
mhm.
existence. And how dare you tell someone that something that they find to be significant shouldn't be shared with the whole planet.
OMG. Yeah, no, that right there, you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Well, you know what? In saying that though, since we're living in this time where people share everything about their personal lives, why do you think that is?
Well, in my former life, I was a television news producer.
Yes.
And I did that for 10 years. So relevance is a very interesting word, right? And incredibly subjective. And so now that everyone has the power of a lens, a camera, and I find a lens and a camera to be the most powerful tool on the planet,
It is.
I would love to believe that we all carry the power of the tool or weapon of a camera with respect, but we obviously know that's not the case. I will say that I try to find a really clear balance of sharing what my mission and my message is as
Mhm,
rawly as I can, as intimately as I can, as authentically as I can. I pay really close attention to what I'm asking of people. So
mm,
therefore, I try my best to be as both figuratively and sometimes literally naked as possible.
mhm,
And I'll tell you, on my social media, I've shown my nude body. Um, I do that because the mission and message is that we are all overly sexualized.
mm,
And before you knew that your body could be a sexual weapon, it was a tool for you to survive. And clothes are an addition, not the
mm,
baseline.
mm,
And if you cannot be comfortable just being, I'm telling you, there is some issue. Maybe
mhm,
not
mhm.
too much trouble, but there's something to address there.
So let me ask you, in
Mhm.
saying that, how would you answer your own question if you were in a relationship and your significant other said, "Well, like, you know what? That's too much for me." Would you delete that post, or would you feel comfortable doing so?
Well, they have all of it. All of them have.
Uh,
All of them. Every single one.
been there,
If
done that.
my social media is Fearless Philly. And then the Touchy Feely Game social media is just that, Touchy Feely Game.
Mhm,
And the content is about intimacy and it's about pleasure. What I try to make all of my lovers or partners, boyfriends, however the relationship ends up being titled, what I try to help them to understand is the mission. I
mm,
post my nude body, but never hypersexually,
mhm,
because that's not my mission. My mission isn't to sexualize my breast. The mission is to remind everyone that we came from the breast. It's a breast is your home. It was the first soothing, most of us, obviously, some of us are formula babies, but even the laying on the chest of your parent at birth is
mhm,
required in hospitals.
mhm,
The breasts, no matter what size, and mine aren't the best ones in the world, believe me, but they are mine, and I am thankful to have them. And in this culture of so many women getting things done to their body, and God bless, everyone should do
mhm,
whatever they want. I always say it feels like a choice when some of us do it and some of us don't,
mhm,
but it feels like a cult when most of us do it. And those of
mhm,
us who don't feel like we're lacking. And I
mm,
do feel like that when it comes to plastic surgery and the changing of our bodies. And so, again, as a 39-year-old woman with a natural body, on my heaviest days and my thinnest days, and I range between, up and
girl,
down 40 pounds, I post it all. And I don't always love it, but it is the absolute truth for the moment. And I always like to believe that what I'm sharing with people of my body will allow them to just look at theirs. I'm not
mm,
Beyonce, so it ain't always sexy for me, but I'm offering you an opportunity to say, can you post? And not if post, right? Can you send a picture to someone you love deeply and intimately, yourself nude? Could you
mhm,
stand just bare in front of your partner, completely nude and in silence, and knowing that their person is just going to stare at you. It's amazing how many people would struggle.
Yeah, well, I'm one of those people. I'd struggle. But listen, but no. So let me go back to what I was the question when I was asking him. I want to know how that conversation went with some, or even one of your former partners. But before you answer that question, family, we have to go to a break. But know that the phone lines are open, and feel free to comment on our socials. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. Stay with us because we will be right back.
Word Radio Digital Tip of the Month with Stephanie Humphrey is brought to you by Comcast.
It doesn't have to be the dog days of summer for your gadgets to overheat. Your smartphone will usually become physically warm to the touch, but here are some other signs your devices are getting too hot. If apps or other programs freeze up, basic functions take longer than usual, or your laptop or smartphone shuts down unexpectedly, that could mean that it's too hot. If you think your device is overheating, here's what you can do. Keep gadgets out of direct sunlight, especially in the car. Make sure your laptop fan isn't being blocked, and turn down the brightness or take the case off of your device. This might also be a cue for you to take a little break for a while as well. Finally, make sure you're not resting any devices on your bare skin. You could actually get burned if your smartphone or laptop gets overheated. Keep your cool and stay safe this summer with your tech. And stay tuned to WURD for more tips, and stay connected with us at wordradio.com.
Hey, Word family, save the date, Friday, August 18th for the 2023 Founders Day celebration. Please join us in person for an all-day block party featuring a tribute to Walter P. Lomax Jr., MD, food, music, the presentation of the Community Impact Awards, and more. You can also stand with Word Radio. Start or renew your 4-Word membership on site. Save the date for our 2023 Founders Day celebration, Friday, August 18th. We are WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
This is your celebration.
Hi, I'm Baron Holland from Bank of America, and on behalf of Bank of America, I would like to wish WURD a happy 20th anniversary. WURD is the heartbeat of the Black community in Philadelphia, and we look forward to helping WURD continue their programming and continuing doing the good work in the community in Philadelphia. Once again, a very happy 20th anniversary.
We're celebrating 20 years of progressive Black Talk Media.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
family, welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. We are talking with none other than CANDACE Johnson, and we're talking about social media. We're talking about intimacy. We're talking about all sorts of things. And before the break, Candace shared with us about a post that she shared on her socials, and she said that was it a semi nude, or it was a nude or semi nude photo?
Well, to be perfectly clear, what it was first of all, it was a voiceover of Maya Angelou speaking about her fearlessness.
Okay.
And what it did was it was a 1 minute talk that she gave in an interview, and it was gorgeous. The words were gorgeous. They spoke to my soul. I've been very, very, very public about my suicide attempt 3 years ago. I consider that to be my baptism into my new life of peace and tranquility. And when I heard, and my social media account is named Fearless Philly. So when I heard Dr. Maya Angelou speaking about fearlessness, every word touched me so intimately. And so what I cut was a series of home movies over the course of the year and a half of my healing journey. But the first couple of clips of the video show me now. They show me beautified. They show me adorned. They show my body snatched, as we call it, right? But then I roll back to show. I might show a clip of my face a couple of days after my attempt. I look hollow. I look, But in the mix of wanting to show the truth is both my attempt in talking about that, but the truth is also my nudity, my naked body as I wake up and as I lay with God. And, so it was really important that I post that. And to get back to your question earlier, the men don't love when a woman that they love, that they care for is posting something. But I will say any man who loves me already knows that to love me is to set me free. And to ask a very diligent question, and to understand the mission is bigger than jealousy or possession. But as long as we can articulate our feelings kindly, I am very, very, very flexible. There's nothing to me that's more important than love. If I really felt like I was with a person who couldn't walk their own path of spirituality, being with a woman who shared their body so publicly, of course I would delete everything, no problem. Nothing is more important than the people. I feel like we forget that. Nothing's more important than people. Certainly not an app. So I also find, and I encourage everyone who struggles with social media sharing in their relationships, I find that a lot of humility comes in reminding your partner or partners that they are the most important thing. But what I'm sharing just may have nothing to do with you. So you can have your feeling. Yes, you don't love me sharing my body, but my love for you is totally separate than the person that I am and the being that I am. And then the question becomes, if you need me so deeply to delete or to change the way I'm sharing, how much of me do you love? Right? Period. How much of me do you love? And how much of who I am needs to be altered a little bit to meet this relationship? And then we're talking about a much bigger thing than what am I posting?
To that point, I do have a follow-up question to that, but I want to take a moment, excuse me, to acknowledge some of our family members that are joining us on our socials. Michael Chip Gordon is sending love and light. Well, you know what, Chip? We're sending it right back to you. Tanisha Washington shares, nope. What is the purpose of deleting socials to accommodate someone else's insecurities? Healthy boundaries are okay, but to require deletion of socials is a red flag. And our brother Gary Bryant is also joining us, and he shares, good evening, Carol Riddick and WURD family. So the other question I have for you, because this whole conversation, it puts me in the mind of the most recent social media frenzy with Kiki. Keke Palmer and her significant other, the father of her son. So I've heard so many comments about it. I've seen so many posts about it and what have you. Now, quite honestly, family, let me tell you this. I know it is absolutely none of our business, but for the sake of having a conversation, what goes on in their personal life is absolutely none of anybody else's business. But for the sake of having a conversation about the subject matter itself, I want to talk about it. How about that? So I'm curious to know, first of all, did you see the video that was posted?
You know, I saw all of it in real time. I saw the video of Keke when it was just a video of Keke and Usher, you know? And then, 24 hours later, her significant other put on Twitter, his comments of obviously disapproving of her outfit. But honestly, Carol, you actually just said it all. When it is personal business, it's none of our business. But the second you put it on social media, it's everybody's business.
Listen.
Everything I say is important. What you got to say is important. Keke, I promise you, y'all need to know because you asked. Now, obviously, Keke didn't, but Darius, I believe is his name. That's Pandora's box. But that actually is, and I, to respond to what one of your viewers wrote, that is a reason to believe that social media deleting is something to be taken seriously, because you do have to remember, right? When you tell your mama your relationship problems, your mama's in your business. You tell your uncle's in your business. You tell your best friend's in your business. You put it on social media, anybody is allowed now to have an opinion.
This is true.
Yes.
This is true.
And hyper more specific to that, a lot of us are very sensitive to people who disagree with the way we choose to live. And so it's difficult if you're not one who can stand on your own. The cheese can always stand alone. I'm the cheese. I can stand by myself. So if you are the cheese that can stand alone, then you can post whatever you like. But if you know that you get your feelings hurt when people oppose your opinion, if you know that you are easily humiliated, or that you just don't want to have to defend your lifestyle choices, keep it off the public.
Yeah. Well, and that leads to something else that I was thinking. I don't know from where the first posting came of the video of her and Usher. I know what I saw when I saw the front of it, and I was thinking, okay. But then when I saw the back of her and I saw more of her, I said, oh, okay. Well, I see why he would have issue. I certainly did understand why he would have issue, but I do agree that the conversation should have taken place between the two of them. It definitely should not have been made a public conversation. So he did get exactly what he asked for. What I want to do is take a moment to go to our phone lines. One of our family members is waiting to talk with us on the phone. Are you still there by any chance?
Yes, I am, ladies. I'm enjoying the conversation on my way home. Hi, Carol. It's
Hi,
Lola.
Miss Lola.
Hi, how are you? So I was calling in. I wanted to just touch on two things, and hi to your guest. Did you say she was a doctor?
Hi, Lola.
Hi. So I wanted to say, like, when you were talking first about the social media and sometimes, the taking the pictures and stuff, I'm gonna be honest. I cannot really stand social media sometimes. Like the type of job that I do, like we do have a lot of requirements that we can't be on it and do certain things and stuff like that. And I mean, when I go out with people, everybody, I'm talking about people, everybody's taking pictures. And like I would go to a show, to the opera, to anything, to the art museum, on vacation. I want to take it in. Like, I want to have memories. I'm going to tell you some of the best memories I have. My mother is no longer here. And I have pictures of her, of course. I have a lot of pictures. But I sit back sometimes on my deck and think about my mother and the things that she did with me. I mean, memories, Carol, and your guests. And it's not has anything to do with pictures. It has the feeling that I felt like when my mom helped me, or when she was at my tennis games, or when I graduated from college, and all of that, and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's all these pictures and not being in the moment is taking away from everything. I think it is so rude is so disturbing sometimes. We were in a show, and just like this, the country singer Miranda Lambert, I don't know if you guys heard about that, when she said, guys, I'm singing, you're in the front row, like, and you're sitting up here taking pictures while I'm singing a song. I mean, I was there, not at her show, but at another show, and they were doing the same. I mean, you're paying, the tickets were like $400 or $500, and you rather stand there and take a picture of a back picture. It's just very disturbing to me. And then with these phones, you have to keep buying all this memory. I know people who have lost their phones, almost lost their mind because all the pictures were gone. Because now they can't find those pictures anymore, but you still have the memories if you stayed in the moment. And that's what I don't like about this age now. I'm not saying don't take pictures, because I have 2 sons. I've taken pictures and all of that, But when we're in the moment, when I want to be with them and we at vacation, I'm looking in their face like they're having so much fun and we're in the water or they're playing ball or whatever. And I think it has taken away some precious time, this social media. And it has its good things, of course. I know people always talk about my business. These people don't be having a whole lot of business. The business is trying to be phony and be phony on social media, talking about you taking all these trips and you go to the airport and you turning around, you ain't even get on the plane. I mean, people think it's a lot of stuff out here that if people do not get their lives sucked up in this social media, that they can really have a better life and not really put what your life is on compared to other people. Because other people, if you live in a real life and you have to work and you know, unless you Oprah in them, you got to work to put your money together to go on these trips and stuff. Nobody's traveling 4 and 5 every month or whatever if you have a job. I mean, come on. It's not that much PTO or sick or vacation time. And so I just wish people would be more into living life and savoring memories. Of course, take your pictures, but don't make that the reason that this is the be all in all is to take pictures. And then when the phone is gone, then people are
losing their mind. Yeah,
they have nothing. And then I just want to say this last thing. That when this is my opinion and my opinion only, when Kiki wore that outfit, he was in LA, she was in Las Vegas. So she didn't go through that with him. And when she put the outfit on, she made it public before he made it public. And I think we need to take their ages in account, that they like 28, 29. They specifically in their genre, like I have nephews that they grew up on social media. I think he was in the moment. I think that it did get out of, I think it was in the moment. And I think that in a haste, he did something that he probably regrets because now everybody just jumped on him. But I just think that, we have to respect each other's relationship. We have to respect each other in that specific relationship and not let people determine what goes on in your relationship or not. Because before, when she got with him, she was higher earner than he was, and she loved him all the same. She was rocking with him for 2 years. So let's not drag people. And that's another thing about social media. This era is giving people a lot of mental illness and a lot of mental disease because they are dragging people for their lives. They are dragging them to the gutter. And remember when you grew up and people say words do hurt, words do matter. Once you put that stuff out, you can't take that stuff back because it's really what you mean. And so it's just terrible. It's just terrible what we're living in right now.
It really is. You know what, Miss Lola? I have to tell you that I agree with everything you just said. And to your point, talking about social media and mental health, like I didn't post for the majority of this year because, as I was explaining to you all in another episode, I just didn't have the bandwidth. And sometimes I didn't have the emotional, the mental, the physical bandwidth for social media. Oftentimes when I'm on social media, it makes me heavy. It depresses me for whatever reason. I don't know why, but I don't enjoy it. I just don't enjoy social media. But you're absolutely right about the demographic about which we're speaking right now, Kiki and her significant other. They grew up on social media. It's a totally different mindset. And I get that too.
And I also think it's not one thing that I've not heard anyone speak about this, and I'm not a parent, so it's funny.
Wait. Candace, I need to hold you one moment because I want to hear everything you're going to say, but I want to hear it uninterrupted. But we have to go to a commercial break before we do so. So hold that thought. Family, stay with us because we will be right back.
JD's Auto Body and Painting, Philly's premier paint and body shop, provides everything you need for expert auto body repairs. Car accidents are an unexpected occurrence. It's stressful, interrupts your life, and causes unexpected expenses. So let JD's professional staff and expert technicians relieve your stress and get your car back to pre-accident condition fast. Get your free estimates with 10% savings today. Call 215-848-5949. JD's Auto Body and Painting, Wayne Avenue and Washington Lane in Philadelphia, gets the job done right the first time. Expert workmanship, frame service, top-of-the-line painting, detailing, free towing, claims assistance, deductible help, and all work is guaranteed. Find out what it feels like to be a valued customer. Call 215-848-5949. Philly's leader in auto body and painting, JD's Auto. Visit JD's AutoBodyAndPaintingInc.com. Hey, this is Doug Henderson, and I trust my car repairs to JD's Auto Body and Painting.
The job search can be a difficult and frustrating process. WURD's Livelihood Initiative was designed to help you find the right opportunity for your next professional move. Check out these recent openings posted on the Livelihood job board at wordworks.com. Brown ShopRite and Fresh Grocer are hiring cashiers at multiple locations, and Herb Foods are hiring truck drivers, various warehouse shift laborers, and a sales representative. For more information on these jobs and many others, go to wordworks.com and learn more about the Livelihood Initiative, brought to you by WURD Radio, progressive Black talk media.
Why is WURD important to the community?
It's important that there's someone from the community that's authentically talking about the problems and all the steps that need to be taken to get to a better place.
And it gives them a platform and an opportunity to share their expertise and love of the culture.
And it's critically important that people have an opportunity to speak, and it's even more important that people have an opportunity to be heard.
WURD is the community and of the community.
WURD serves as the voice for the community.
It gives a sense of connectedness among people who aren't necessarily in front of each other physically, but they feel and connect with each other over the air.
I'm so glad they're coming to Mantua.
It's in the name. WURD is the word. WURD gets the word out to the community. WURD connects the community. WURD empowers the community. WURD embraces the community.
We are 20 years strong, giving voice to the community, and without the community, there will be no WURD. We are one and the same, and it is not a game. WURD.
This is your celebration.
Hey, this is David W. Brown, former general manager of WURD. I'm proud to say, and Temple University, want to wish WURD a happy 20th anniversary.
I'm Delilah Wilson-Scott with Comcast, and I want to wish WURD a happy 20th anniversary. Thank you for celebrating 20 years of Black excellence, Black culture, Black legacy, and providing a forum so we can discuss the issues that we care about.
I'm Dylan Lewis from WURD Radio, and I want to wish WURD a happy 20th anniversary.
Hi, I'm Ken Anderson from the Chamber of Commerce for Greater Philadelphia, and I just want to wish WURD a happy 20th anniversary. Thank you for all that you do in this community. You are one of the anchors that make us who we are, and that is the best. So I'm wishing you happy 20th and many, many more.
We're celebrating 20 years of progressive Black talk media.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, progressive Black talk media.
I think I know what love is.
And we are back. Welcome back, family. You're tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, progressive Black talk media, on air and online at wordradio.com. Before the break, the conversation was started about Keke Palmer and her significant other and the recent, for lack of another way of describing it, debacle. And Candace, our guest, Candace Johnson, was about to share a comment, but we had to go to break. So, Candace, what were you saying?
Yes, and I'm sorry because I was just trying to cut in, but those people have a newborn baby. I have never known a healthy set of parents when a baby is screaming through the night endlessly, right? And I am not a parent. I have no biological children. But I'm blessed enough to have a lot of children in my life, to have been able to see children be born into families. And not only does the mother seem to suffer from postpartum in general, after birth, right? Just the changes in the bodies, the hormones. But I also have seen how some of my guy friends tend to go through a little bit of a lull after the birth of a child. And so I don't think that it's unfair um to look at all this as maybe a hormonal reaction to a very sensitive, right? Like turn of events. Kiki has been a very clean girl for the most part, but she said her baby gave her boobs and a butt in a body that she had never had, and she wants to celebrate it. I think there are many conversations that need to be had, and when it comes to Kiki Palmer, first and foremost, if that man feels that his life partner, significant partner, mother of his child should behave in accordance of whatever laws or rules they set in their household, well, he's not unfair to feel disrespected if that has been breached. But to put it in the public now makes it public fodder. And anytime it becomes fodder, it's no longer healthy. And I think that is always the issue. But back to social media as a whole, you have to be okay with being on your own. And I also try to remind people to use social media only as a positive tool. I share what I share on social media, not to overexpose myself, because quite literally my life is so much better in public than it is on social media. But I have been so blessed in my journey the last few years and my company. And I could just be selling games and not really talking about my struggles. And certainly I don't think I need to post anything nude of mine to make my company profitable. But I do find that every time I do something a little bit more bold, a little bit more daring, always with intention, there is some community member who isn't blessed to have as many loved ones as maybe we do, who do find that that digital communication is enough for them. I always tell people, the people who don't like social media are typically people who are loved by people in real life. But you have to remember that there are a lot of very lonely people. And there are people who don't know how to identify with the people that they spend time with in real life. And the only time they do see themselves, feel like themselves, or are themselves is when they find digital community. So, of course, you have to protect yourself against the bad of it. And I did think that Lola had some absolutely fantastic parts and points to it. But I think that's why self-esteem, self-confidence, reassurance, and understanding the rules of your relationship is what sort of prevents these pitfalls when they happen. I don't post about my significant relationships, but what I do post about is how loved I feel in a significant relationship. And I've been privileged to be so deeply loved that I want to tell everybody. I'm not complaining about what he does wrong or what he does right. I'm just saying that in this moment, and if you go on my social media, I've written love letters to a number of them boyfriends. And I'm so thankful to even go back to look at those words, right? I share the joy. I share the things that I want to remember if the relationship shall have to end. With myself, with my family members, and absolutely with my lovers, and with my community that I do business with for my company. I share things that if tomorrow we don't speak anymore, if you look back at that video, you'll be proud. Love there. And I mute my voice when, love is not there.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I ain't got nothing.
Family, if you have just joined us, you are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. We are talking with CANDACE Johnson, the creator of Touchy Feely. I love it. I love it, the game. And we're talking about social media. We're talking about intimacy. We're talking about a whole lot of things, quite honestly, as you know, because that's what we do right here on Love and Life. There's still a few moments left before the end of this hour to comment, and you can do so by commenting on our socials. And we might have maybe 2 minutes for a phone call. And you can do that by dialing 215-634-8065, or you can call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. You know, family, I've forgotten to tell you in the more recent past that, you know, I welcome your comments. I welcome your suggestions. And if there's ever a topic that you want us to discuss, or you know, you want to make a suggestion about us discussing, you can send that to me in an email. You can talk to me. And you can do that by emailing me at loveandlife@wordradio.com. I realized I've forgotten to tell you that. Frey is sharing, Candace, you are spot on about being intentional and comfortable about who you are. I love that. I love that. This conversation, I'm enjoying this conversation, I must say. And I'm definitely appreciating your contribution, Candace, so much. Because I think it's necessary for us to have these conversations. Social media plays such a big part in all of our lives nowadays. I, you know, I just haven't reached such a level of comfort with it. You know, social media, I'm one of those people where social media, it's a chore for me. I enjoy some aspects of it, some things about social media I do enjoy, but there are a lot. Well, there are equally as many things that I do not enjoy. And one of the things I will say that I don't enjoy the most is I don't enjoy the oversharing. Quite honestly, I don't need to know what somebody does every moment, second, hour, minute of their day. But again, you don't want to see it, you scroll, or you know, you don't look at it. But the other part is that we live in a day and in a world where we as Black women, especially, we're so exploited and overly sexualized. So all the visuals that, well, not all, but the majority of the visuals that I see on social media, and it just, you know, this is what is put in my feed, are of they're just not visuals that I care to see of us, you know, and it saddens me. It really does. And it hurts. Sometimes it hurts because I want to see some more positive visuals of us. We are beautiful. We are a beautiful, strong, resilient, intelligent people. And I would like to see more of that than what I do see. Now, I do agree there's a time and place for everything. So, okay, yeah, all right. I'm sure, you know, we'll see that too, but I don't see as much of what I would like to see.
Which is why you have to post. And I have to encourage your listeners, if they know how incredible of a singer you are. They're right. You could be posting listen, if you just wanted to sing me a little something every morning, that's all I need on my reels. I promise you. Just give me something for 30 seconds.
You know,
I would follow you around every stage you decide to sing on. I will shoot all your content. It is silly to have you say that you see us Black women, you know, only in one light, and you have the charisma, talent, skill set, and emotional abundance to like soar people with your art, and you don't want to post that.
Girl, listen, I do. I posted a video. I reposted a video the other day that Ed Gordon shared, and then I posted. I think I posted a video of the show I did at Wilson's. I've been trying to share. I've definitely been trying to share. I definitely have, but not all of what I see, but the majority of what I see of us. I will say, not all. I won't. Let me make sure I'm clear on that.
No, you were definitely clear.
I want to take a moment to go back to our socials and share. Cheryl Mobley Stimson writes, I don't enjoy the silly oversharing or the thirsty half-dressed pictures some people post. Alfredia shares, I agree with you, Carol. Now for me, it's the oversharing and the filters. And Nico shares, this is a brilliant conversation. Loving this guest. Keep shining, Miss Candace. Isn't she beautiful? I know. Miss Candace, she's wonderful. She is.
Thank you.
But no, and like I said, there's a time and place for everything. And I accept that. I receive that and I accept that. And I also accept that, you know, what we're talking about is something that another generation lives with. This is how they thrive. So I receive that too, that this just isn't for me. I am an in the moment person. I have so much, so much on my phone and what have you that I could share, but why? I love, I love reflecting and looking back at that myself, just as Miss Lola shared, just the emotion of it all, reliving those moments. I love that. I'm that person. So I am that person. But Frey shares once again, Candace, you are so right. I love, oh, you know what? I'm going to get you too. I love everything Carol Riddick. I did not see that coming.
I have a video of you singing at South, and I'm going to post it in my stories.
Oh my Lord.
The woman made me cry for an hour. It was incredible. Incredible. I still talk about it.
God bless you, Candace.
I just want you to be brushing your teeth every morning and singing us like This Little Light of Mine. That can be the overshare you give us every day. I want you to overshare. Overshare for me.
Girl, you know what?
Just making your matcha tea and singing.
Yes, you know me and my matcha. Everybody knows me and my matcha tea. Just thank you so much. I'm looking at the time and I know we have to let you go, but thank you so much for coming to share time, energy, attention, and knowledge with us. We hope you'll come to visit us again soon. And thank you for this riveting conversation, because this is a conversation that we definitely need to continue.
Yes. Thank you all.
Oh, family. We have to go to a break, but know that the phone lines are open and feel free to comment on our socials as well. You're tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. Stay with us because we'll be right back.
Tune in this Friday at 9:20 a.m. for Tech Life Steph's Digital Tip of the Week. Listen throughout the week for her digital updates. Brought to you by Comcast.
Hey, did you feel that? Feel what? Feels like a wave just hit me. I think something's happening at WURD Radio.
Are you ready?
WURD Radio's rocking the boat and bringing you new programming. Beginning Monday, June 26th, check out some of your old favorites and new additions in new time slots. New position. Morning Drive begins with The Source with Andrea Lawful Sanders, Monday through Friday from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., followed by Wake Up with WURD with Solomon Jones, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Get your news and entertainment from Reality Check with Tanya Pendleton, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Keeping it real with Reverend Al Sharpton returns to the middays, Monday through Thursday, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Your drive time remains enlightened by Evening Words with Nick Taliaferro, Monday through Thursday, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. And grab a nightcap from Love and Life with Carol Riddick, Monday through Thursday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Listen on air and online at wordradio.com. WURD Radio, celebrating 20 years of progressive Black talk media. Summer is here, and so is WURD's annual Summer of Freedom Tour. WURD Radio is proud to partner with Philadelphia Parks and Recreation and the Center for Families and Relationships for a summer of fun, freedom, and healthy communities. Join us in Germantown, Overbrook, North Philly, and Southwest Philly, where Tanya Pendleton will broadcast live each Thursday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Discover all that our recreation centers have to offer. Meet with mental health specialists who will provide support to children impacted by gun violence. Join WURD's community partners for hands-on outdoor activities and hear live performances from local artists. Win tickets and prizes and stand with WURD by joining or renewing your WURD membership on site. Be sure to join us at the Mander Playground, 2140 North 33rd Street in North Philadelphia, on Thursday, July 27th. Summer Freedom is brought to you by Comcast, Pico, Keystone First, United Way, T-Mobile, and the Energy Co-op.
This is your celebration.
I'm Jonathan Stiles from the Museum of the American Revolution, and I want to wish WURD a happy 20th anniversary. At the Museum of the American Revolution, we believe that a more inclusive history is a more accurate history, and we so appreciate how WURD has allowed us to reach different communities, to share that message, and engage with us in the work that we're doing. So happy birthday, WURD. You're doing incredible work. Thank you so much for how you're serving the Philadelphia community.
Hello, I'm Mark Gaines from New York City, originally from Philadelphia, and I want to wish a word a happy 20th anniversary. This is an amazing accomplishment and something that I think the community really needs, and something that will build a foundation for generations to come. I stand with Word on the 20th anniversary now and forever, and future anniversaries to come. Special shout out to Sarah Lomax, who is continuing this legacy of my grandfather, and I hope to someday be a part of it, help Word grow as well. Again, congratulations.
We're celebrating 20 years of progressive Black talk media. Celebrating 20 years of progressive Black talk media. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online at wordradio.com and the Word Radio app.
Let me tell you something, and don't you ever forget it. Success is nothing without someone you love to share it with.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family, and welcome back. Welcome to the top of the second hour of Love and Life right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. I truly did enjoy that conversation. Candace, she's such a bright light. And the subject matter, of course, is something that I think is a necessary topic. And I'm so glad that you all participated. I really enjoy when we all discuss and talk about things. I really do. I really do. I tell you all the time, I think communication is key. I really, really, really do. And to that end, as I know, the hour goes by so quickly. I don't want to diminish our time with our next guest at all because y'all know how I love our Thursday chats. You know I do. So for those who are unfamiliar, on Thursdays, we speak with our resident mental health expert. She is the executive director for Sunrise Community of Pennsylvania. She's a lifelong student of human behavior and social interaction with over 15 years of experience as an accomplished trainer, professional speaker, and supervisor in the field of human services. And she's here to talk with us tonight about anxiety and anxiety disorders. Family, I invite you to the conversation with none other than Dr. Zenida Driver. Hey, Dr. Z. How are you? How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I will not complain. I will not complain. We just had a very, very, very interesting conversation. And I remember you touching on this a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago or so. You talked about social media. You had a comment about social media and our mental health, and how it can affect us. So I remember you talking about that. I remember that. But I'm glad that it's a conversation that we're continuing. It's a discussion that we're continuing. But I'm so anxious to talk about anxiety. But before we do, I believe one of our family members is waiting to talk with us on our phone lines. Are you still there by any chance? Okay.
This is Juanita.
Hi, Miss Juanita. How are you today?
I'm fine, Carol, and yourself?
I will not complain.
I understand. I'm not going to keep you long. I appreciate your taking my call, but I agree 100% with what you were saying with your last guest about oversharing. That's one of the things I don't like either. But, I respect those who like to do that. I'm more of a private person. And when I do get on social media, I have a focus and I don't stay on. In other words, I have a time frame to maybe an hour, maybe 30 minutes. Or when I get on, I make sure that again, this is me, not to be judgmental because we have to be careful about that. And I quickly go by or pass by things that are just not good for my mental health and visual. But I do a piece once a week, every Wednesday, on wellness, wisdom, and wholeness and balance. And those are inspirational quotes, things on health, and things that I feel will uplift others. But unfortunately, and it doesn't really bother me personally because it's not about the person, it's about the message that I like to share. You don't get as many likes or love when you are posting things that are positive to unless you're like a famous person, of course. But most importantly, I like to balance things out by posting things that are positive because I also think, but I don't have to do that every day. I think to be on social media every day is taxing not only to you mentally, it's like having company every day in your home. And I try to make sure I establish guidelines as to what I want to post, what I do not want to post, because I think social media, to wrap it up, making us very needy, meaning that we feel that we have to put it out there. It's a neediness that we never experienced before. And unfortunately, some of us do not know how to control that neediness. You need quiet time. You need shutdown time. You don't need to be out there in people's faces every single day, no matter if it's positive stuff. I don't want to be in people's faces every day. Like, for instance, Dr. King's last sibling passed away. I made sure that I posted that on Wednesday. John Lewis has left us. It's been 3 years. But again, those are things that are precious to my heart. But what really gets people attention when you engage in the other side of what social media wants people of color to engage in, exploiting ourselves. So I just think it's good to have this conversation because I think sometimes we don't realize the negativity that could be spreading, through what we do on social media. So it's a healthy conversation, in other words. That's what we are having. And
Thank you for that. No, Miss Juanita, thank you so much for that. Thank you for your contribution and your perspective.
I love you. Take care.
I love you more. You too.
Bye for now.
Bye. I agree wholeheartedly with everything Miss Juanita just shared with us. I truly do. And you listen, you've heard me say it. Me and social media, I need to I have to pull back. And this year I did so. I was telling you, I just didn't have the bandwidth. I just didn't. The physical, emotional, mental, like I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So I just started posting some things recently, but just little bits here and there. Just little bits because I feel so weighted a lot of times with things that I see. And and it depresses me. I still don't know what that's about. But I will open up social media and it will depress me. Why? What? So, in any event, enough about me. You all know I'm so transparent. I tell you all everything. But, Dr. Z, to move this conversation along, today we're talking about anxiety disorders. What exactly is an anxiety disorder?
Yeah, so it's a very common mental health condition that ultimately being nervous is a normal part of life, right? But with anxiety disorder, excuse me, it's an intense level of fear, an intense feeling of overwhelmingness, an intense feeling of dread when an individual has to do certain tasks or encountering certain situations. It's something that happens within their body that causes them an extreme level of stress. A lot of times when we talk about anxiety disorder, we're talking about a person who can't do a task because the anxiety may be interfering with their daily functioning. It's a person who feels like they can't control their reactions to a thing or a person or a situation. And in turn, they think about it, they feel some type of way about it, and then they react to what it is that they're overwhelmed about in that moment.
Mm. So can anything is when we talk about anxiety disorders and with the
Mhm.
explanation that you just gave about it, is it can we just lack of another way of saying it, because it sounds to me like we just spiral. We
Mhm.
just so would it be fair to say that it doesn't matter what the subject matter is, if we could just spiral about anything?
Mhm. Because that will fall under what we call generalized anxiety disorder, where it can just be anything that could present itself and we feel overwhelmed by it. It is causing us an emotional reaction, causing us either to shut down, over respond, do something that we typically wouldn't do if we wasn't experiencing that antecedent that's leading to that anxiety.
So how do we navigate that?
Well, there's, of course, medication. They have different types of medication an individual can take that can ultimately help control anxiety, depending upon how serious the level of anxiety is. Of course, Carol, I'm a big advocate for counseling. You can see a counselor. They can help you work through your thinking. We do something called cognitive behavioral therapy, where we help you think about your thoughts and think about how your thoughts is impacting your everyday interactions. Or we could just figure out what is it that causes me a level of anxiety and do my best to create a schedule, to organize my life in such a way that maybe I'm not becoming overwhelmed or triggered by whatever it is that leads to that anxiety. So when we talk about just spiraling, that would fall more under that generalized anxiety disorder.
So when we talk about the anxiety, could that manifest in an OCD, or is that a part of? Would that be?
Mhm. Yep, you can see anxiety show up in different medical conditions. You can see anxiety show up alongside with any other mental health condition. And anxiety is just one of those layering conditions that can present itself in any way, no matter what the circumstances.
So Frey from our socials is asking, what is the difference between anxiety disorder and panic attacks?
Great question. Anxiety disorder is more an emotional reaction. Panic attack is I shut down severely. My heart starts increasing to a level that I can't control. I struggle in a way that I cannot bring myself back. And so now I'm having a panic attack. And sometimes people can do breathing exercises to help them calm down. Sometimes some people have to see their medical doctor. It really just depends on the level of panic that they're having. But one is just a feeling, and one is how I react to that feeling.
Oh my goodness. Oh my Lord, we're such complex individuals.
Mhm.
Every time we have our conversations, every time you come, Dr. Z, I'm processing something else that you say, and I'm realizing, and which is it's awesome. It's a wonderful thing, because I don't take the time to think about these things individually when we're not actually talking about them. But we are so delicate as human beings. We are so delicate, and every week, you talk with us and you share with us about different disorders, different challenges, different things that are seemingly so common.
Mhm. Mhm.
It all just sounds so common. I'm sorry, go right
It
ahead.
is, yeah, and I was agreeing with you. Anxiety is one of the most common disorders. Many people struggle with anxiety. They may not realize that they struggle with anxiety, but there are so many people, particularly here in the US, that struggle with anxiety.
So what are some of the symptoms of anxiety disorder?
Great question. Nervousness, sweaty palms, racing heart condition, um, uh, muscle tension. Um, I would say ultimately it's a transition from your typical baseline. I'm sweating. I am feeling just different in myself, some type of way that I typically don't feel. I may have fear, excessive worry, intrusive thoughts. There's so many ways that anxiety shows up for people, but there's tons of symptoms and signs. I think it's more about being attuned with ourselves and knowing in this moment, I feel different. In this moment, something is happening and I need to figure out why my body is reacting to the situation, person, place, or thing the way it is.
One of our family members, Lavonda Hudson, shares that her panic attacks were brought on by grief and fear after losing her father to a heart attack. Can anxiety also present as a result of grief and fear?
Mhm. And kind of as we kind of just shared, anxiety can show up whether we're taking a test. Anxiety can show up whether we are going on a job interview. Anxiety can show up because I've lost a loved one and I don't know how to deal with that loss and grief. I'm never going to see that person again. I can't change the situation. Anxiety can show up because I have an overwhelming concern about the future and I struggle with staying in the moment right now. Anxiety can peek its head in various different ways in our lives. So it's not like a one size fit all approach, if I can say, to how anxiety shows up, but it definitely shows up as a result of grief and loss.
LaVonda, I want to thank you for your transparency and sharing that. I'm curious to know how you navigate your panic attacks. I'm really interested in knowing that. Another one of our family members, Nilsa. Hi there, Nilsa. Nilsa Cruz Goodwater shares that she suffers from anxiety, and it reads, "I don't hide it. In the past couple of weeks, her body aches were her symptoms." And she shares that was why she took time off work and life by getting rest and taking time for herself.
And that's great. That's really great.
Yeah, it's great that she was able to do so too, right?
And reading her body cues, knowing that something is off and I need to take this break. Because a lot of times with anxiety, people may not have the option to take off like she did, like Nilsa did. However, it's being attuned, saying something is not right. And I need to look at what's happening around me and maybe not push myself as hard. And maybe I need to unplug, like you said, Carol, earlier, unplug from social media, unplug from the thing that could be triggering my anxiety. But most people, we don't unplug. We just keep going and going like the Energizer Buddy until particularly that anxiety does turn into panic attack. And now we're so overwhelmed and it's taken a lot more to kind of bring us back to our natural baseline.
That's exactly what we do. I say it all the time. We are all, well, I know prior to the pandemic, I was definitely the hamster on the wheel. And I was beginning to become the hamster on the wheel again when the world began to softly open. Now that we're in these COVID compromised times, sometimes I have to catch myself and say, we're not doing that again. We're not doing that again. Frey on our socials is sharing. She's asking Dr. Z, so is it safe to say that being anxious is a sign or a symptom of anxiety?
I think it's safe to say that anxiety is a normal emotion in itself, right? We have anxiety, especially if we're doing something new. But anxiety, if it's intruding my thinking, if it's impacting my behavior, if it's causing me to shut down, isolate, withdraw, feel excessively overwhelmed, then that is when it goes from just a typical feeling of nervousness and anxiousness to now a mental health condition because it's impacting my mind, then it impacts my emotions, and then I react to how I think and how I feel. So yes, it is a manifestation of anxiety disorder, but I want to be careful to say that just because you feel anxious doesn't always mean you have anxiety disorder.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Oh, LaVonda, thank you. LaVonda is sharing that she always uses a headache roller. Oh, wow. Let me tell you, you're the first person that I know of to use that. I would always wondered if they worked. And she shares that she also grabs fresh air. She takes deep breaths and sounds such as water, rain, classical music, strings and violins, particularly, or those frequency sounds help. Let me tell you, because I have meditation. Listen, y'all heard me talk about my meditation sounds.
Yes.
Chloe knows.
Yes.
As soon as I put them on, Chloe goes and lays down. She knows. That's
Yes. And I love that. I love that LaVonda shared that because while we talk about medicine, while we talk about therapy, we also talk about what are my normal day-to-day habits? Do I implement a level of self-care for myself that allows me to have those moments of meditation in peace, to recenter myself, to recharge myself so that I can go back in the world the next day and do my task. Sometimes when we're moms and parents and just doing all the things we need to do just as an adult, we don't take those moments. And so sometimes those meaningful small moments make a world of difference. And if we implement it religiously, like we do taking a shower or brushing our teeth, sometimes that helps eliminate and alleviate some of those anxious symptoms.
You are so right about just recharging. That was a hard lesson for me. Such a hard lesson. And and I'm sure family, you can relate to this too, because we oftentimes put these unrealistic expectations on ourselves. And I was trying to meet these unrealistic expectations and goals. It's okay to have goals, so that's not what I'm saying, because I still have goals, but I had unrealistic expectations of how I was going to achieve these goals. So I wasn't allowing myself to recharge, and I couldn't meet one goal without recharging, because in any event, family, we have to go to a break now, but please know that the phone lines are open, and you feel free to comment on our socials, or to continue to comment on our socials, I should say. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. Stay with us because we'll be right back.
Need a minute? Take a breath and breathe in positivity. Here are words of joy and empowerment from WURD Radio.
To Black Women by Gwendolyn Brooks. Sisters, where there is cold silence, no hallelujahs, no hurrahs at all, no handshakes, no neon red or blue, no smiling faces, prevail. Prevail across the editors of the world who are obsessed, self-honeying, and self-crowned in the seduced arena. It has been a hard trudge with fainting, bandaging, and death. There have been startling confrontations. There have been tramplings of monarchs and of other men. But there remain large countries in your eyes, shrewd sun, a civil balance, the listening secrets, and you create and train your flowers still. I'm Delilah Wilson Scott.
This joy and empowerment vignette was brought to you by Comcast.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends, surprise parties, camps, birthdays. The same way you plan for the important moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
What are you waiting for? If you've been enjoying the information and interviews WURD provides every day, or come out to our community events, it might be time to become a member. This year marks the 20th anniversary of WURD, and there's no better time to join the forward movement. Sign up or renew your sustaining membership at just $90, or your digital membership for just $5 a month. Join online at wordradio.com/membership, or pick up the phone and give us a call at 215-425-7875. Press 4 for assistance. The time to join is now.
What am I waiting for?
This is your celebration.
I'm Nehemiah Cotton from Babashi Transition to Hope, and I want to wish WURD a happy 20th anniversary. We thank you for all of your help, your support to Babashi. You've meant the world to us. You've been a great partner, and to many more.
I'm Sabrina Tate from Babashi Transition to Hope, and I want to wish WURD a happy 20th anniversary. Thanks for so many years of allowing people to have a voice who have been muted for decades. Happy anniversary.
I'm Rochelle Rogers, Pico, and I want to wish WURD a happy 20th anniversary. Thank you, WURD, for uplifting the Black community and sharing our stories.
We're celebrating 20 years of progressive Black Talk Media. You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. We are talking with Dr. ZENIDA Driver. Dr. Z, it's Thursdays with Dr. Z. You know what we do on Thursdays, family. And tonight we're talking about anxiety disorders. I want to take just a moment to go to our phone lines to talk with one of our family members who's been waiting to join the conversation. Hi there. Hello there. Are you still there? We might be having just a slight issue. In the meantime, what I will do is go to our socials to recognize and acknowledge some of our family members who are joining us. It's Rosalind. It's Rosalind Allen. Hi there. Rosalind Allen is joining the conversation, as well as Miss Joanne. Hi, Miss Joanne. Miss Joanne Dorman is joining the conversation as well. Nilsa shares that it took her father's passing to realize that she had to take some time to unplug. She shares that her father told her to take time for herself, and he told her job would always be there. The self-care is the big thing. And Frey shares that, she writes, OMG. I sometimes take a day off from work and refer to it as a needed mental health day to pray without distractions or schedules, to regroup and do all kinds of things, refocus, recenter. And I think that's wonderful. I think that is so wonderful. And Pastor Black is also joining us. Pastor Daniel Black shares that he is watching. We're always happy to have you, Pastor. I'm going to take a moment again to go back to our phone lines to see if we can't connect with our family member. Hello, are you there?
Here. Yes, I'm here.
Hi. Hello. Thank you for calling.
Oh, Carol, thank you very much. I just wanted to say I suffer with anxiety, and it's very real. My anxiety is triggered when, like nowadays, whenever you go into office buildings, there's no open windows. Everything is sealed up tight, and I get a panic attack when I go into office buildings. My mind is telling me I can't breathe, and I'll have a full-blown panic attack. Now, I was prescribed Ativan. Well, first I was prescribed Klonopin, but Klonopin makes you retain water. So they gave me the Ativan, but now I have a phobia of putting any chemicals in my body. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. When I really cannot control it and can't bring myself back down, like with breathing exercises or talking to myself, I will, because it's only 0.5 milligrams, so it's not a high dosage.
Okay.
And, I have a fear of getting addicted to anything, and a fear of putting chemicals in my body for fear it will damage my kidney. I have some age on me, But I just wanted to speak to the issue that it is really real, and mine transforms in the way that I can't breathe. I can't, I have a feeling of suffocating, and my thoughts are racing. To give you an example, I was sitting here in my house, calm, comfortable, didn't know anything was going on. And my granddaughter came home from school, and she had a mask on. I said, "Why do you have the mask on?" She said, "The teacher said that we can't breathe in the air." And I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" I turned on CNN, and come to find out, it was the beginning of this smoke situation from Canada. Within an instant, I found myself running back and forth from the door to the window. I got to get some air. And then when I got to the door, I'm realizing, oh, no, I can't open the door because I can't breathe the air. I got to the window, the same thing. And I had to take my medication because I just was really just boxed in with. But it was all psychological, because up until I had found out about the smoke situation, it didn't bother me. But as soon as I became aware of it, I went into a full-blown panic attack. So, but once I took the medication, I was able to calm down. I was able to breathe, and then I was able to just talk to myself. And then I went on the rest of the whole time while the smoke situation was there. I think it was maybe up to a week that we had the smoke situation in the air. And I was able to go through each day without medication. I was just able to assure myself that it was just my mind, telling me that I couldn't breathe. Yeah, but
I'm
it's
glad you shared that. I was going, oh, I'm sorry. I was going to ask you if you had to take the medication for the remainder of the week. So I'm sorry for interjecting, but I'm glad that you shared that.
yeah. So and to tell you the truth, the one thing that works the best for me is prayer. Like when I get into situations, because I have other situations, and for me, the 23rd Psalm, as soon as I start reciting, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want," and then that can be one of the things that I can use to calm myself down, letting me know that God has everything in control, But this thing is real, and it's like the older you get, the more vulnerable you are to it.
That I can definitely identify and relate with that. I'm curious to know when did you notice your a challenge with your anxiety at like around what age?
I would say within the last 10 years. The last 10 years, because I've never had this before, where I couldn't. But also in the last 10 years, I've I'm dealing with limited mobility, so I've put on some weight because I'm not moving as much as I used to. And so therefore, I guess with the weight and the which the weight automatically creates other conditions with your heart and so on and so forth, and your breathing. So it's just basically been the last 10 years has been a challenge. But we're on the upside. We're on the upside now because we're getting the weight down, and we're just getting awareness about this anxiety, and also doing breathing exercises. So.
Well, kudos to you. Kudos to you for being on the upside, for receiving it, acknowledging it, accepting it, and walking in it. Because I know, psychologically that plays a big part
Yeah.
in any of our challenges. So, but you listen, you got your tribe here, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about all of it. Dr. Z, I'm sure you have a comment.
Yeah, I kudos to her. Just one for being attuned to herself and being attuned to her body, knowing when to just maybe push through it on her own, utilizing those breathing practices, and or knowing when she needs to implement medication. A lot of times people are not paying attention to our body, and our body tells us everything. And so I commend her as a person who struggles with anxiety, of being attuned to herself in that way.
And I thank you for your, again, family. I can't stress this enough. I so appreciate our candor and our transparency, because I believe when we share information, that's how we, when they say when you know better, you do better, and sharing
Yeah,
information.
as African Americans, we have to share because
do.
we are very paranoid as far as this whole medical thing and this whole psychological thing, And so I hope that I can help someone else and just letting them know that it's real, it's nothing to be ashamed of, and you can work with it. But yes, lastly, we're not giving into this. Oh no, we're not going out like this.
I know that's right.
All right, love.
Thank you so much. So
Take
much.
care.
You too. Family, if you have just joined us, you're tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. It's Thursday, so you know what that means? It's Thursdays with Dr. Z. And tonight we are talking about anxiety disorders. I want to acknowledge a few more of our family members that have joined us. Annette Ford shares, good evening, Word family and bestie. I love that. I love that. You better have your BFF. That's right.
That's my BFF.
That's right. That's right. Another family member of ours, Brian Bird Sr., shares, good evening. So happy to have all of you here with us. And again, as our family member just shared, listen, and I know, Dr. Z, you shared this too before. You know, we as Black people, we have so many challenges as it pertains to the medical field, as it pertains to medicine. Number one, therapy. Number two, you know, and I know we all have so many questions. We have so many questions. So I'm glad that we're talking about it all. I'm glad that we put it all on the table here because this is the space to do it. I definitely want to say hello to another one of our family members, Joey Dixon. Hi there, brother Joey. He shares peace, word, family, one love, and jazz to you. So one of the other questions I have about anxiety disorders are they all grouped in the same bracket, or are there like different types of anxiety disorders?
Yep, there's definitely different types of anxiety disorder. We kind of talked about one already, which is generalized anxiety disorder. We have panic disorders, which someone talked about earlier. We have phobias, which we heard someone share, where whether I have a social phobia, agoraphobia, fear of animals, fear of closed in little areas or buildings or elevators. We have separation anxiety disorder. So anxiety, again, shows up differently. The most common type is that generalized anxiety because that asserts itself whether it's related to loss, as we heard Lavonda say, grief, life transitions. That particular type of anxiety shows up and it sometimes consumes us.
You know, I know. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I know they say the dumbest question is the one you never ask, but sometimes when I ask you these questions and you respond, then I say, oh, yeah. How about that? Because, you know, again, I'm not thinking about these things regularly or in my natural train of thought. So then when you respond to it, I'm saying, well, absolutely. That makes so much sense when you say these things. But I have to tell you, I just thought I had to share that because I'm sitting here saying, well, you knew that. You're saying to myself.
But you don't. Sometimes people just think general anxiety disorder is the only type of anxiety disorder. There are several types. There are several categories, and I think it's important to know what category your anxiety falls in, so that if I come up with interventions, I can come up with interventions that are helpful to address this particular type of anxiety. So I think that's a great question, Carol, and I think it's safe. Everyone doesn't know that there's different types. We just think anxiety disorder is just anxiety disorder. No, there's different types of anxiety disorder.
And that's exactly what I was thinking when I asked the question and until you broke it down. So thank you for that. Thank you. Family, I know you two have comments and questions. I know you do. I know you do because, you know, I know there's some that I have not asked that you have. And if you do, you can feel free to share it with us in our comments on our socials, or you can actually call us, and you can do that by dialing 215-634-8065, or you can call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. We're talking about anxiety disorders, and it's you know, as I'm listening, or I should say processing what you're sharing about the different types of anxiety disorders. So is it safe to say there's a different way to properly navigate each of those? Or would there be like a starting point to you know, to like a general starting point to navigate each of those different types of anxiety disorders?
I think the first thing is to identify if there is a particular trigger for the anxiety. If there's something situational that is happening around us that could be causing this anxiety to be raised up within you, or this anxious feeling, I should say, to be raised up within you. So if that is the case, then maybe I just need to process. I need to look at my schedule. I need to look at what's happening that's triggering my anxiety and see if I can control it. As I think it was the caller and someone else said in the comments, see if I could do what I can to control it on my own. But then if I notice that, okay, I can't control it, it's impacting my life, I am shutting down, isolating, not completing the task, then maybe I need to think about taking another step, whether it be medication, vitamin, therapy. I need to do something. And I think the distinction between how much or what I do, if I can say, determines how severe the anxiety is showing up in your life. As we shared earlier, every one of us experiences some type of anxiety at some point, right? But if I do the task, and so if the anxiety, Carol, is you're getting ready to sing and you go before everyone and you sing, and then after you sing, you're good. That was just the anxious feeling that you had before you went before the crowd. But now let's say you are singing and then you still are struggling with anxiety after that, then that may mean that there is something else going on.
Yeah. Sometimes that happens. Well, I get, listen, I do have anxiety before every show, every performance. But sometimes, because, an energy, just trying to navigate different energies, just sharing that. But in any event, family, it's time for us to take just a short commercial break. But the conversation will continue when we come back. So stay with us because we will be right back.
WURD Radio is the only African-American owned and operated talk radio station in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and one of only 3 remaining in the country. In the past 20 years, WURD has evolved into a multimedia, multi-platform communications company that reaches deeply into the Black community through radio, events, digital, and social media. It is considered the go-to channel to engage, interact, and connect with Philadelphia's Black community. Our brand is built on the personal legacy of our founder, Walter P. Lomax Jr., MD. Dr. Lomax was a brilliant physician who established medical centers in underserved neighborhoods throughout Philadelphia to provide high-quality healthcare to Black and Brown communities for over 30 years. One of his most ambitious acquisitions was when he purchased WURD Radio. He understood the power of ownership and the power of independent media. Through WURD, he wanted to ensure that Philadelphia's Black community had the ability to speak and be heard in their own voice. We are celebrating 20 years of Black excellence. We are celebrating 20 years of progressive Black talk media.
This vignette was brought to you by Comcast, United Way, and Bank of America.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
This is your celebration.
Well, first and foremost, I just want to thank the Lomax family in honor and memory of Dr. Lomax, who founded and provided the vision for a station that will provide a voice for the African American community. And so WURD always have a special place in my heart. And I just want to thank the family for providing a platform and a voice for the African American community. I'm Philadelphia City Council member Kenyatta Johnson, and I wish WURD a happy 20th anniversary.
We're celebrating 20 years of progressive Black talk media.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, progressive Black talk media.
I think I know what love is.
Hey there, family. Welcome back. You're tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. We are talking with Dr. Z, it's Thursdays with Dr. Z, Dr. ZENIDA Driver, that is, and we're talking about anxiety disorder. I want to go back to something that one of our family members shared on our socials. Nilsa was talking about having taken time off, and so did Frey. Frey says she takes some time off too. So for those of us who are dealing with anxiety and cannot do so, what suggestion would you have for us in trying to navigate anxiety in the workplace?
Well, I definitely am a big advocate for taking that mental health day. I saw someone write in the comments, if we can, right? And as you said, maybe we can't. So now I just have to recognize that I'm already struggling and I only can do what I can do. As someone wrote in the comments earlier, if we have a meltdown and we can't come to work tomorrow, the job is going to replace us with someone else. So I have to ask myself, what am I doing to prepare myself to go into the work environment to do what I can do in this moment? Not try to do more, not try to do less, just show up the best way I can if I do not have the ability to unplug. But to embrace the workplace oftentimes requires me to start outside of the workplace. So what am I doing in my spare time to recharge, to recenter, to regroup, to kind of get my mind together, to go into work? Maybe even talking to your boss, your supervisor, the people that you work with, because mental health is now an amazingly booming topic. And before, people didn't acknowledge mental health for what it was. Now people know mental health is real. We see it every day on the news. Someone struggling with a mental health condition and it impacted their behavior some way. So I believe if I am struggling, I may need to take that time off. Maybe if I don't have the sick time, every job, if you're full time, you have FMLA. Maybe I need to go out and take that family medical leave to get myself together. We have to do that. We can't allow the jobs to burn us out to the point that we cannot show up for ourselves, show up for our family, and then show up for our employers.
Well, you know what, on that note, because that was a whole word right there. So on that note, Dr. Z, oh my goodness, family, I'm looking at the time and we all know what time it is. I just want to say thank you. Lori, as we wrap up tonight's episode, I extend my utmost gratitude to you as you continue to support Love and Life. Just thank you to all of our callers as well. Thank you to those of you who contributed to the conversation in our socials. Special thanks to both of our guests, CANDACE Johnson, to Dr. ZENIDA Driver, for sharing your time, your energy, your space, your knowledge, and your attention with us. I want to take another moment again to just share some extra love to the family and the loved ones of Daniel Jones, the beloved musical genius that we lost in the past few days. Janet Jackson shared a beautiful post about him. He was her musical director, and he was a friend to us all. I just really want to send some extra love to his family, his friends and loved ones, and to the entire music community that is missing him. Additional special thanks to the entire WURD family. Miss Kayla J, Niall Jax, just thank you. Family, you know I'm going to say it. You know exactly what I'm going to say. I just cannot stress enough by saying to you that we're all in this together. I say it every single night, but it's so important that we receive it, that we own that we walk in it, that we live it. We are all in this together, and that we need each other. We need each other. And first and foremost, to maintain our own personal mental health, it's so important that we take care of ourselves. So let's start with us. Be good to you. Be so good to you. You hear me? Be good to you. But be good to those around your family. Let's do that. Have a great night. Have a great night, rest of your night. And be sure to join me Monday through Thursday, 7 till 9 p.m. Eastern Time for another edition of Love and Life right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.